Welcome back to Society Case Files. My name is Robert, and today I want to talk about Diablo 4 Season 10. Yeah, I did it again. I had to hop in and give it a try. The chaos stuff sounded a lot of fun. Anyway, if you like this kind of content and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Otherwise, let's dive right in. So Diablo 4 Season 10 came out, and it offers up this idea where there's these chaos rifts that open up in various places, hell tides, nightmare dungeons, even in the infernal hordes. And you basically fight these special kinds of monsters that drop a new currency. It's the seasonal journey. You go through a little story where you fight this one main bad guy at the end. And then it goes back to your standard Diablo 4 grind of going through chapters, doing specific little events until you can get as high as you can with your various pit runs and blah, 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 all that stuff. If you've done Diablo 4 seasons, you kind of know what's going on. The big trick this time is that there's this chaos armor, which can drop and be practically anything. A Mother's Embrace ring might be a helmet, but the bottom line is that if it's a unique, it can then be on any slot, technically. I guess only armor drops that way in a specific circumstance. I was watching a video that said, don't use the whispers for jewelry, only do it for the armor. I don't know specifically why, but that's a piece of tip if you care. But I will say that having played quite a bit, I've only received 6 pieces of that kind of armor so far. So just enough to get through the chapters where you have to break down that many. At the very end, on the last chapter, many of the objectives require you to wear a piece of chaos armor and then do something, whether that's do a bunch of Helltide stuff or kill Lilith or whatever. Tons of cool stuff like that, but ultimately, that's what they're trying to push. Do some chaos stuff. Now, there's a bunch of ways to get this kind of gear. You can basically just run different events, whether it's the Infernal Hordes or go fight the various layer bosses. You can max out your seasonal vendor, and then it continues to give you reputation, which then at the end you get another chest that drops even more gear, and that's one way to get targeted unique stuff. So I tried a lot of different things, but ultimately I had never played the Druid before. So I'm going to link to the video I found. It's Ponyhoff. He made this build that I'm running, and he's got a ton of those types of things. So if you want help or you want to see how to do builds and maybe you want to learn how to theory craft, he's got so many options that I think you could really benefit from at least getting an understanding of how things synergize so that you can build your own that are effective. But this one's pretty absurd because at first I was like, there's just no way. The sheer number of lucky factors that go into getting the stuff necessary seemed overwhelming. Now, I am not going to discount people's poor luck because I had terrible luck last season. I was trying to get a specific sorcerer build, and there were 2 pieces of equipment that I desperately needed, and I ran for like 3 days of play, and I did not get a single one of them. I took a break for a week, I came back, and then they dropped. It was literally a miracle. Like, there was no way that should have happened. This time, though, I'm going to say that getting the 3 pieces that I needed, it was a helmet, a pair of pants, and a specific ring, proved to not be that bad. In fact, I was able to get the non-ancestral versions of them pretty quick, in all honesty. The first of them was the ring. It's this Mjolnir ring thing. It drops from several sources. I got it from Lord Zur. And then once I got that, I was emboldened to continue on and try and get the rest of them. Now, I needed to take out the Beast in Ice. He takes Distilled Fear as his currency. Unfortunately, the only way to get it is to do Nightmare Dungeons. I mean, for real. And it doesn't drop in abundance. Sometimes they're pretty stingy. In fact, I did a couple where they didn't give me any at all. Mostly you get 2 per run, and you need 12 to take him out. So I wanted to at least have 3 tries to get the gear that I needed. So I collected up 36 of them, and then I went and fought the beast. And very surprising to me, and again, I am not discounting that people sometimes have bad luck and don't have this happen to them like it did to me. But I did manage to get the last 2 pieces of equipment I needed from those runs. So once I had those, I abandoned my level 1 to 60 build, and I started using the one that Ponyhoff came up with. And that's what you've been seeing on the screen. It's just basically this insane druid build where you're summoning ravens and dropping them like crazy. You could just run around like a maniac, dropping them down. Unless something interrupts you, you could pretty much do it forever. It's absolutely wild. I'm not going to get into how it works specifically because Ponyhoff does such a great job of explaining it, and you'll see the link and the card too. So definitely check it out if you want to give it a try. Of course, you did need the 3 unique items, and you do need a unique power that comes from this season. It's part of the Chaos powers for seasonal gifts, and without that, you can't actually do it. So be sure to watch the video and understand that, because I actually made a mistake and didn't have that power yet when I tried to swap over. Fortunately, I saved my build with the armory and was able to go back to my shred build and complete the stuff I needed to get it. And that was pretty lucky. So the things about this season that I thought were really cool is that, well, first off, I was fairly compelled by the powers. I thought they were kind of neat. The seasonal journey mission was okay. They're mostly pretty throwaway. They're very quick. You can jump through them really fast. I'd never played the druid, as I said before, so it was fun to get to know it, especially from 1 to 60. I was like, ooh, I'm not really happy with that. Oops, I just died there. That's one of the faults that I've had with the build, is that you can get one shot, and I'm running around in Torment 3. Probably not quite there yet, as you can see. But anyway, I actually really enjoyed playing the druid for the most part. I thought it was kind of cool. It was very different from what I normally do, because I primarily play the sorcerer, the rogue, or the necromancer. I haven't played the barbarian, the spiritborn, or the druid before. So it was neat to try something different. Plus, this build, as he puts it, perfected, is utterly ridiculous. It got to the point where the way he set it up is that you'd run with the left mouse button and right click to drop your ravens, because you're spamming them. And it got to the point where I was pretty sure I was going to mess up my wrist if I did that. So I had to switch it over, put the ravens on the 2 key so that I could just tap it that way instead. I was going to get carpal tunnel for sure. There are a few things. I think they're a little stingy with the Chaos armor. Maybe it gets more abundant in tier Torment 4. I'm not quite there yet. I could probably survive it, but I suspect I die quite a few times. I have masterworked most of my stuff, and I'm only missing one ancestral piece of gear now, and I think that's the helmet. And if I could get that, then I'd probably be able to get my masterworks high enough to take care of it. Just do a bunch of pit runs. They don't take long. At this rate, I can do level 50 pits in about 3 minutes, if even that. The idea behind this build is that eventually you can run the tier 90 pit and still have like 5 minutes to spare or something. It's crazy. So it's not so much about the build, but it does come down to the same thing each time with Diablo 4. For example, I think there's like, as of this recording, there's at least 60 days left in this season. And admittedly, I played it a little bit obsessively because I was really in the mood for something a little mindless, and I just wanted a distraction. I was having some things go on that I just needed to do something that kept my mind going, or at least that I could check out but pay attention to, if that makes sense. And so I did play it more than I probably should have. But I will say this, I finished all but the very last chapter of the season, and I need about, I think, 30 more favors to get all of the reliquaries opened, which I'll probably do. But at this stage, I start to wonder, is it just vanity that I'm pushing for just to see if I can? I pretty much know I can do it. It's just a matter of, do I want to do the grind to get to the point that I can do it? And what is the benefit of doing so? I mean, there are players who are way, way, way better at this than me. So I'm not going to compete on their leaderboards or any of that stuff. And I'm not really in the mood to make an alt because I've already done all of the seasonal chapters and the various events that go with it. So, I mean, there are things that maybe would be neat to see. Can I get chaos armor that does something absolutely insane? But I'm not really intrigued by that too much. I kind of am driven by getting the cosmetics and the stuff that comes with those seasonal chapters. I hate to say this, but I think that they need, I don't know, maybe they need more. I'm not sure, but more might not be fair for people who couldn't play it as hardcore as I did. So I don't know. Maybe they don't need anything. Maybe I just needed to calm down and play a different game or something. But whatever the case, I had a lot of fun with Season 10. And I think that if you like Diablo 4, then you'll enjoy it. I heard somebody say the other day that they consider Diablo 4 to be fairly casual friendly, which is interesting because in Season 10, these Chaos Rifts are actually pretty hard at the beginning when you first start. They can tear you up real fast. And that's the level 1 to 60 on normal. If you elevate the difficulty, you can find yourself getting just slapped real quick. And it is interesting because Path of Exile 2 is a lot more complicated than Diablo 4 as far as how you play. I mean, you have the ability to add other classes to your build, and the theory crafting is a lot more intense. Whereas with Diablo, it's pretty straightforward. So I think it does attract people who want to just sort of do what I did. Check out, kill a bunch of monsters, have fun, run around like a maniac, be a superhero. I mean, this stuff that is happening on the screen is just absurd. And it's almost funny how in some cases you can get to a build like this where you're just a juggernaut. And you know what it really reminds me of is in Diablo 4 when you'd finally get your set bonus and you'd just go into a dungeon and everything would disintegrate before you. You wouldn't even see the monsters. It kind of has that vibe. Of course, again, it does take uniques and it takes a lot of grinding. So, I mean, there is a trade-off, but like with most things, it is what it is. So, I'm curious, have you tried Season 10? Did you like it? I mean, I did. Are you looking forward to Season 11? I'm kind of thinking that I'm at a point where after I get my reliquaries opened up, I'll probably set it aside until Season 11 starts and see what they have to offer for that one too. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk to you then. This is Robert with Society Case Files, signing off.